Before the printing press, knowledge moved at a crawl, like a whisper in the dark. Books were not shared, they were sacred. Painstakingly copied by hand, word by word, page by page, by monks cloistered in candlelit monasteries, or by scribes hunched over desks in royal courts. A single manuscript could take months, sometimes years, to complete. And when finished, it wasn't for the many, it was for the powerful. Bound in leather, guarded in libraries, spoken of in Latin, a symbol of wealth, faith, or dominance. To own a book was to hold a treasure. To read one was a privilege few ever knew. But in the 15th century, that silence broke. One man dared to dream differently. Not a noble, not a priest, but a goldsmith from Mainz, Germany. His name was Johannes Gutenberg. Born around the year 1400, Gutenberg understood the power of metal. He shaped it, melted it, engraved it, and eventually he saw in it something more, a possibility. What if instead of copying books by hand, you could stamp them like coins or seals onto the page? Around 1440, he began crafting something radical, a machine that would print words, not one at a time, but by the hundreds. At the heart of his invention was movable type, tiny metal letters, each cast by hand, perfectly uniform. These letters could be rearranged to form any word, any sentence. Once inked and pressed onto paper, they could be used again and again and again. He didn't stop there. To apply pressure evenly, he adapted a wine press, the kind used in vineyards along the Rhine. Ink, metal, paper, pressure, precision. It was beautiful. And it worked. By the 1450s, Gutenberg unveiled his masterpiece, the Gutenberg Bible, 2 volumes, over 1,200 pages, 42 lines per column, each perfectly aligned. It wasn't just functional, it was art. A bridge between the elegance of the old and the efficiency of the new. And when it rolled off the press, the world would never be the same. Word of Gutenberg's invention spread with the force of a thunderclap. Printers sprang up across Europe. From Venice to Paris, London to Krakow. In just a few decades, thousands of books had been printed. By 1500, over 20 million volumes had entered circulation. And suddenly, knowledge was no longer a secret. Farmers read calendars and almanacs, merchants studied maps and ledgers, students held textbooks, poets shared verses, thinkers shared theories. In a world where only the powerful once held the pen, now the people had a voice. The printing press became the nervous system of a new world. It carried the spirit of the Renaissance, giving artists, philosophers, and scientists a platform to be heard beyond borders. It armed the Reformation as Martin Luther's 95 Theses, nailed to a church door, spread across nations like wildfire. In just weeks, the world was reading what once would have been silenced in a monastery. And it ignited the scientific revolution. Ideas could now be tested, shared, challenged. Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler, Newton, their works traveled farther and faster than ever before. The press turned theories into truths, or at least into questions worth asking. But revolutions rarely come quietly. Rulers feared it, the church condemned it, censorship began, books were banned, pages burned, yet the ink could not be unspilled. Once the people had tasted knowledge, there was no returning to ignorance. The printing press didn't just change what we read, it changed how we think. It transformed education from a luxury into a ladder. It united dialects into languages. It turned ideas into movements. And it gave birth to a world where the pen could, indeed, challenge the sword. And look at us now. We read in seconds what once took lifetimes to write. We share thoughts with the world at the tap of a finger. But it all began with one man, one machine, and a belief that knowledge should not be hoarded. It should be shared. The printing press gave us the power to learn, to question, to grow. And in that moment, humanity didn't just turn a page, it opened an entire book. And the story hasn't stopped since.